Ever finish a show and just stare at the wall thinking, now what? Yeah, me too. Especially after a really good post-apocalyptic series that leaves you with that perfect mix of existential dread and hope. Well, get ready to clear your November schedule because I've dug up the absolute best, the most binge-worthy post-apocalyptic shows that are totally worth revisiting or discovering for the first time. We're talking completed stories with satisfying endings and a couple of current titans you just can't miss. Let's dive right in.
Colorado!
What's in Colorado?
I heard there's a safe place for kids like me.
Kicking things off at number 10, we have a show that's like a warm, fuzzy blanket in the middle of a global catastrophe. Seriously, it's the apocalypse, but make it adorable. The story follows a very special boy, a hybrid who's part deer, as he ventures out into a world ravaged by a mysterious plague. The visuals are stunning, a world where nature is reclaiming cities, creating this beautiful but dangerous landscape. The bond between the boy and his gruff protector is the heart of the show. It's got this fairy tale quality to it, a real sense of wonder and adventure that you don't often get in this genre. It's less about the grim struggle for survival and more about finding family, hope, and humanity in the ruins. If you need a break from the relentless bleakness of other apocalyptic stories, this is your perfect escape. The show is called Sweet Tooth.
Aircraft position 76.35 north, 0.
Alright, number 9. Picture this. A global pandemic hits and the only hope for humanity is the crew of a lone US Navy destroyer that was conveniently out at sea and isolated. Talk about being in the right place at the wrong time. This show is pure, high-octane action. It's got that Michael Bay polish with explosions, tense naval battles, and a race against time to find the cure. Every season, they're facing a new, deadlier threat, from mutating viruses to rogue factions trying to seize power in the new world order. The captain is this stoic, heroic figure you can't help but root for, leading his crew through impossible odds. It's very patriotic, very procedural, and honestly, sometimes you just need a show where you know the good guys are working relentlessly to save the day. It's a complete 5-season ride, so you get a full, explosive story from start to finish. If you're in the mood for a military action mixed with your pandemic thriller, you need to check out The Last Ship.
You're looking at the only human known to have survived being bitten by a zombie.
Coming in at number 8, we have a show that asks, what if the zombie apocalypse was fun? Okay, fun might be a strong word, but this series is definitely the wild, unpredictable cousin of its more serious zombie counterparts. It doesn't take itself too seriously, embracing the absurdity of its premise with a huge grin. The mission is simple: transport the only guy immune to the zombie virus from New York to California, where the last functioning lab awaits his antibodies. Of course, the cross-country trip is anything but simple. We get zombie animal hybrids, a character who can communicate with zombies, and some of the most creative zombie kills I've ever seen. The group dynamic is fantastic, a found family of misfits just trying to get by. It ran for 5 seasons and never lost its quirky, action-packed charm. If you want a zombie show with more laughs and less long, philosophical monologues about the human condition, you found it with Z Nation. At number 7, we're going to space. This is without a doubt one of the greatest sci-fi series ever made, period. Humanity is on the brink of extinction after their homeworlds are destroyed by their own creations, sentient robots. The last survivors, a ragtag fleet of civilians protected by a single aging warship, are on a desperate search for a mythical new home, Earth. This show is so much more than just space battles and killer robots. It's a deeply political, philosophical, and character-driven drama. It tackles faith, identity, what it means to be human, and the cyclical nature of violence. The performances are incredible, the writing is top tier, and the ending is something people still debate and discuss years later. It's a show that will stick with you, make you think, and leave you breathless. A masterpiece of modern television, Battlestar Galactica is this.
Sam? Sam! Please!
For number 6, let's get a little weird. Imagine one day 2% of the world's population just vanishes. No explanation, no warning, just gone. This show isn't about finding out why they disappeared, it's about everyone else, the people left behind, trying to make sense of a world that no longer makes sense. It is one of the most profoundly moving, bizarre, and beautiful shows I've ever watched. It deals with grief, faith, and the desperate ways people try to find meaning in the face of the inexplicable. Each season focuses on a different community grappling with this sudden departure, and the character work is just phenomenal. It's an emotional gut punch in the best way possible. The showrunners had a clear 3-season plan and executed it perfectly, delivering an ending that is both mystifying and deeply satisfying. If you're ready for a show that will challenge you and break your heart, you have to experience The Leftovers.
Prisoner 319, hold out your right arm.
No.
Now for our number 5 pick. Okay, what if the last survivors of a nuclear apocalypse weren't grizzled adults, but 100 teenage delinquents sent down from their space station to see if Earth is survivable again? That's the premise, and trust me, it gets wild from there. What starts as sort of a teen drama in a post-apocalyptic setting quickly evolves into a complex story about survival, leadership, and brutal moral choices. These kids are forced to grow up fast, building a new society from scratch while facing threats from the planet and its other inhabitants. The show constantly reinvents itself, with each season feeling fresh and raising the stakes even higher. The motto is, "There are no good guys," and it really leans into that, forcing its characters and the audience to question their decisions. It ran for 7 seasons, bringing its epic story to a truly conclusive end. For the saga of survival and moral ambiguity, look no further than The 100. Alright, let's take a quick pause. If you're loving these recommendations and want more deep dives into the best shows out there, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It really helps the channel out and lets me know you want more content just like this. Now, let's get back to it.
I am simply trying to gather information to help the people in the present trace the
At number 4, we have a mind-bending masterpiece. Based on a classic sci-fi film, this series takes the core concept of a time traveler sent back to stop a plague and expands it into an intricate, brilliantly potted 4-season epic. I remember being skeptical at first, but this show quickly became one of my all-time favorites. The writing is just so tight, every little detail matters, and clues planted in season 1 pay off in spectacular ways by season 4. It's a complex puzzle of paradoxes, loops, and conspiracies, but it never loses its sight of its emotional core. The relationships between the characters are what ground the whole thing. The creators knew their ending from the very beginning, and it shows. The series finale is widely considered one of the best of all time, a truly perfect conclusion to a complicated story. This is a show that rewards your attention. You absolutely have to watch 12 Monkeys.
Mister, you even know what's going on? I woke up today in the hospital, and that's all I know.
Our number 3 spot goes to a show that became a genuine cultural phenomenon. For over a decade, we followed a small-town sheriff who wakes from a coma to find the world has been overrun by the undead. But as anyone who's watched it knows, the zombies are just the backdrop. The real threat is, and always has been, other people. This show is a sprawling, epic examination of what happens to humanity when civilization collapses. We see communities rise and fall, leaders become tyrants, and good people forced to do terrible things to survive. The character arcs are incredible. You watch these people evolve and change over 11 seasons of brutal survival. It had its ups and downs, sure, but its impact is undeniable. It finally concluded its massive story, giving fans a definitive end to the main saga. For the ultimate zombie survival epic, it has to be The Walking Dead.
Strange and awful time was the happiest of my life.
Now for our top 2, and these are a bit different. They aren't finished stories, but they are so good, and their futures are so secure that you can dive in without fear. At number 2, we have what I can only describe as televised poetry. This is a mini-series, so its story is complete and contained, but its impact is massive. It follows a traveling troupe of Shakespearean actors and musicians 20 years after a devastating flu pandemic wiped out most of humanity. The story jumps back and forth in time, showing us the world before the collapse and the new world built upon its ashes. It's not about finding a cure or fighting warlords, it's about the importance of art, community, and human connection. It argues that survival is insufficient, that people need stories and beauty to truly live. It's visually stunning, masterfully written, and will leave you with a profound sense of hope. A truly unique and beautiful take on the apocalypse. This is Station 11.
I'm not family.
No. Cargo.
And finally, my number one pick. This show arrived with impossibly high expectations and then somehow exceeded all of them. Based on one of the most beloved video games ever, it tells a story of a hardened survivor tasked with smuggling a teenage girl across a post-pandemic America. Their journey is fraught with danger, not just from the terrifying infected, but from desperate and ruthless human factions. What makes this show a masterpiece is the relationship at its center. The performances from the two leads are just breathtaking. Their bond feels so real, so earned. Every episode is crafted with the care and budget of a feature film. The first season was a massive hit, and a second season premiered this year. It's a brutal, heartbreaking, and beautiful story of love and survival. My number one post-apocalyptic series to watch right now is The Last of Us. And that's the list. 10 incredible shows to get you through the coming month and beyond. What do you think? Did I miss any of your favorites? Let me know down in the comments. I love reading your recommendations. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to subscribe for more series deep dives, and I'll see you in the next one.